Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You heard something from UB40. Mm-hmm. All right. So I promised that I was going to be talking about something really, important, and it's not far-fetched. It's more about common marital problems. It's discovered that people who are married have more problems than even the single ones. But at this part of town, we keep things really quiet. We keep things really quiet. We keep things really, calm. And they tell you, you know what, just bear it. It's your cross, carry it. Don't make noise about it. They even tell you don't get a third party involved. Both of you just sort things out by yourself. How? They don't say. They don't say. All right. So on YouTube Live, you can follow the channel if you are on YouTube. Uh, www.youtube.com/Daniel Akpata. Akpata is AKPATA. If you're following, please click the like button if you love what you're hearing, the thumbs up button, and then subscribe. There's a little bell close to, yeah, just click on it so that whenever there's a new stuff, you get to be the first to see it. All right. So the truth is, there are many common problems in married life, and a lot of them can be avoided, fixed, or resolved using many different methods and techniques. And we'll just share a few of those problems and how to navigate, the murky waters of life and marital life. All right. There are different problems in marriage lives that are common, and then it cuts across. It could happen to any couple. Okay, it could happen to any couple. Number one is infidelity. Hmm. Infidelity is a common problem in relationship. It includes cheating and having emotional affairs. Other, instances that are included in infidelity are, probably one night stand, physical infidelity, internet relationships, as well as long and short term affairs. Now, infidelity occurs in a relationship for many different reasons. Many different reasons. It's a common problem, and one that various couples are struggling to find a solution to. In fact, there are so many questions that couples are asking about infidelity that they really do not have answers to. Okay, but in the course of doing this, would look for ways to answer some of these questions and bring about that understanding why some people do what they do. Okay, so let me just quickly share like five common reasons, for infidelity. Now, when you remain loyal to your partner no matter what, now it's actually a question: would you remain loyal to your partner no matter what? Would you? Can you? Now, for many of us, it is hard to think about cheating on a significant other, but nonetheless, infidelity is one of the main causes of divorce. How is that possible? If you might be asking. Now, what are the things that drive people to do what they do? What are the things that drive them to do what they do? Okay. Now, the devastating effect of infidelity. Infidelity can be brutal. Just think about the trust and connection that might be lost forever. People that have had to deal with cheating spouses can have a hard time trusting members of the opposite sex. Yeah, they become bitter and resentful, and some of them carry the baggages of this hurt, for a very, very long time. Yeah. Okay. So, after all these years of care, love, and intimacy, such a decision seems almost impossible, right? And yet, it happens. It happens. And when it does, when it does, it not only deteriorates trust and intimacy, it can also rip family apart. Now, just think about the fact that, think about what infidelity will do to your children. They look up to their parents and quite possibly, see them as perfect examples of how they want to be. If they see them, if they see that mom is cheating on dad, it will be a brutal blow for them, don't you think? Infidelity is a brutal, nasty thing. So, what drives people to cheat on their partners? Aha, I know that's a question on your mind, right? What actually drives people to cheat on their partners? Now, there are common causes of infidelity in marriage. There are some common causes, of this. Now, besides these common reasons, there are also some other reasons which are more common among men than among women, and it's vis-a-vis. It switches between two people. Number one thing is hiding from problems. Yeah, it sounds mundane, right? Hiding from problems. Now, what do I mean? It means running away from problems. Running away from problems is one of the major causes of infidelity. It is easier to make excuses than to work things out with your spouse. Now, this opens the door towards emotional affairs. One common example of this is the co-worker who offers a shoulder to lean on. This co-worker often becomes a participant in an affair. Now, when there is a problem, instead of dealing with it with your spouse or saying, okay, you know what, let's go for counseling so that we can, have a better understanding of these things, you shy away. You stop talking. She stops talking to you. You stop talking to her. And then you only send text messages and drop notes. Hi, honey, please wake me up at 5. He drops the notes beside her. And then she too, when it's 5, she stands up and drops another note. Honey, wake up, it's 5. And she drops the note by his side. And at the end of the day, there's a problem. All right? So when you hide away from problems, when you don't talk about problems, when you don't deal with problems, it opens the door, because somehow she's your better half. Meaning, when you show up in some kind of places, you will get to see some people who are very sensitive will know that, this is not the real you. What's happening? In asking what is happening, your mind is already thinking about what happened before you left home. And then when the person pushes and pushes some more, you find yourself saying, look, it's my wife, it's this, and then you just start talking. And before you know it, the person is getting closer and knows a little bit more. Then even the time you don't want to talk, the person comes closer to you and asks, like, okay, how is your wife? How are you guys doing now? And then before you know it, instead of spending that time with your wife, you're spending the time with this other person at work that is asking and showing care. Before you know it, you're opening the door. You are forming that bond. Yeah. So that's one reason. Number 2 is pornography. The internet makes pornography widely available, easily available. And then it's very private now. With the tap of your phone, you're privately entertaining yourself already. Okay, you just have to go online and type, search in Google, and that's it. Watching porn from time to time can seem innocent, but the long-term effects are rather harmful. Porn addiction is one of the main reasons that can lead to infidelity. All right, you might even be surprised to hear that this is not just a problem that men have. More and more women are reported to suffer from porn addiction now. Yeah, so that's another thing, because that's what you've been feeding your mind. And what you feed your mind regularly is what your mind craves for. What you feed your mind regularly is what your mind craves for. Now, in fact, some people have so fed their mind with this, once they are alone and by themselves, the best thing that comes to their mind is to watch porn. If you're in this category, you need help. You need help. And you can't continue like, if you continue like that, you're just going to wreck yourself. Especially young people, you would wreck yourself. Okay. Number 3 is the internet in general. Now, apart from porn, the internet in general is a huge factor in infidelity. It has never been easier in the history of mankind to meet other people with no questions asked. There are numerous dating sites, apps, making it very easy to meet attractive members of the opposite sex. So the internet in general has created that lacuna. It has created that, opportunity to meet someone randomly, compared to before that internet was not there. You have to go out, you have to reach out, you have to toast, all of that. But on the internet now, it's very easy. In the tap of your phone, you are opened to a new world. So if you're not disciplined to curtail your excesses as regards watching porn, curtail your excesses with all of these sites, dating sites, before you know it, voila, you're in it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So that's number 3 factor. Number 4 factor, there are escort services. Now, the amount of available escort services does not seem to, decline. It doesn't. Rather, it seems to, keep going up. More and more escort services pop up, making it very easy for both men and women to meet a member of the opposite sex. And, all of these services, it's cheap. I mean, not really cheap per se, cheap like that, but hey, sex is nothing when it's in the making, when the services is on. It's part of the whole package, kinda, if you know what I'm talking about. Number 5, boredom and routine. Now, the drag of everyday life can really weigh people down. Boredom and routine can lead to an affair. That's why on this show, we always clamor for the fact that you need to find what your life is about and pursue with everything inside of you. Don't be casual about your life. Don't be casual about your dreams and aspirations. Don't be casual about them. You need to be out there. Don't allow boredom to drag you into a kind of routine that makes you readily available for anything and anyone, who is like you out there. People want to escape from, their boring lives, and thus they seek pleasure and excitement in extramarital affairs. Oh yeah. Now, quite possibly, a lot of divorcees could have been avoided if the spouses took the time and commitment to communicate and keep things exciting for both of them. Now, how do you communicate and keep things exciting? That's why we say that marriage is work. The marriage that works is a marriage that you work at. The relationship that works is the relationship that you work at. Okay? If you don't work at it, it will fall apart. Even if it's Angel Gabriel that showed you your wife. Haven't you heard stories of, guys who say, no, it is God himself that told me that you are my wife. And you have the confirmation. But because both parties refuse to work on their marriage, that same marriage goes south. Oh, yeah. So if you don't work at it, it's gone. Now, there are more reasons that have been, pitfalls for both men and women. Growing apart from, their partners, addiction, low self-esteem, insecurity, and feeling unappreciated. Issues with aging, issues with body image, and reasons for infidelity in men. For men, these are main reasons for infidelity. He's insecure, number 1. He feels too old, too young, too thin, too fat. You name it. He uses both, flirtations and porn as ways to feel good about himself. That ego. massaging that ego if it's not being massaged at home. Sometimes this can end up in extramarital sex just to get a feeling of being desirable and worthwhile. Number two, he is damaged. Early childhood traumas can cause him to look for extramarital sex. Physical abuse, neglect, or sexual abuse can leave deep scars, causing him to look for sexual intensity to escape from the mental pain. Okay, number three, he is either bored or overworked. Boredom or being overworked seem like, opposites, but as far as infidelity is concerned, the results can be the same. Now, he might think that some excitement is what will make him truly happy. More often than not, this results in extramarital infidelity. Number four, he wants out. Some men have trouble, being direct. They use infidelity as a message to show their partners or spouse that it's time to move on. Or sometimes infidelity comes from the need to have a better partner before ending the current relationship. Can you imagine? And reasons for infidelity in women, these are just some. I'm just, picking. Yeah. For women, she feels ignored, neglected, or underappreciated. A woman feels neglected, ignored, or underappreciated might go looking for attention elsewhere. An attractive woman will not have a hard time to get her attention from other guys. Appreciation, can turn into affection, and that can lead to infidelity if she's not getting it at home. Remember, we say that appreciation is the fertilizer of every relationship. Thank you. I appreciate you, because whatever you appreciate increases. Whatever you don't appreciate decreases. And the way we're created, we would not stay where we are not celebrated. We stay where we're celebrated. All right. Number two, she wants more intimacy. A lack of intimacy in a relationship is always a bad sign. Women feel valued through non-sexual emotional interaction more than men. This includes kissing, touching, cuddling, and meaningful communication. Now, if these intimacy needs are not being met, if the needs and that she wants, you are not making that deposit in her emotional bank account, she might go looking for it elsewhere, sometimes resulting in romantic or sexual relationship. Number three, she is lonely or bored. Boredom and loneliness are a recipe for disaster. Oh yeah. Boredom and loneliness is a recipe for disaster. A lonely and bored woman might decide to go looking for some excitement. Women have a strong tendency to feel responsible for raising her children. But after they have grown up, after they're all grown up and left the house, a woman, also a man, can feel rather empty inside. She thinks she lost her purpose and decides to use romantic or sexual relationships to fill the void. Number four, she does not feel loved or appreciated. Feeling loved and appreciated is one of the core needs of a woman. Some women have very high standards or unrealistic expectations, which result in their needs never being met. Instead of, relying on one partner, they decide to find love or appreciation outside of their marriage. Now, on this is why we also say that you need to know your love language. When you understand your love language and you understand your spouse's love language, it's easy to make that person feel loved rather than, trying to love them the way you think is the right way. All right? Now, how to overcome cheating? How do you overcome cheating? The damage that has been done by infidelity is difficult to overcome. Difficult. But if both partners commit to change their behavior, the marriage can be saved. In most cases, marriages that survive infidelity will even become stronger and more intimate. Oh yeah, but there are processes, there are steps that needs to be taken to make sure that this happens. There are steps that needs to be taken to make sure that it happens. It wouldn't just happen. Counseling, needs to be done. Therapy needs to be done. The one who cheated and the one who was cheated on, they need to do their own private counseling differently. And then forgiveness needs to be introduced. And then they need to understand that forgiveness is a pivotal aspect of any sane relationship. And we say regularly here that forgiveness is the final form of love. If you truly love him, if you truly love her, you will not allow infidelity to put a stop to the love that you both share. So I challenge someone who is listening today to make up their minds and say that, look, regardless of what has happened, regardless of what will happen in my marriage, in my relationship, I am not going to ever allow anything to be too big or bigger than our marriage. Oh yeah. Are you making that commitment? Are you making that commitment?